The new context is political. In the past, we didn't have any threats in South America. Today, we've already seen that we have a perception of threat in South America. We've seen that there is growing attention to threats in South America, including our constitutional or sub-constitutional but legal role of assisting the government, assisting the branches of government in the border area.
Isn't that the role of the armed forces? And as long as I'm president, there will be no law and order guarantee operations.
In a major statement, the Army Commander, General Tomás Paiva, said that Brazil is currently facing real threats within South America itself. The warning brought to light an unprecedented concern in the regional scenario, since in the past there was no perception of immediate risk.
Because despite the fact that we are the institution most present along the border, since I have 77 military units along the border, there is no other institution that has the presence that we have. Even so, the border area is enormously vast, enormously complex, enormously diverse with different biomes. And we have to look for technological solutions to be able to mitigate the problem.
Analysts point out that authoritarian regimes like Chavismo in Venezuela and the union of criminal factions, with firepower and financial resources comparable to those of military forces, may be among the main factors sustaining this new reality. Welcome to Vida No Quartel.
Cheers! Without defense of the homeland, Brazil.
Tomás Paiva also emphasized that the regional environment has changed significantly in recent years. If before there was no concrete threat, today the situation is different. There is a clear perception of risk, especially on the Brazilian borders. These vast and complex areas have become a focus of attention, as they represent not only geographical boundaries, but also vulnerable points exposed to organized groups' activities and political instability in neighboring countries. However, the current Brazilian president shows disinterest in the subject. And so far, the Planalto Palace has not presented concrete measures to enhance the country's military capabilities, and neither has it adopted federal-level measures to combat organized crime. During the Army Unmanned Systems Symposium, held in Brasilia, General Tomás Paiva emphasized the need for technological modernization. He highlighted that protecting Brazil's borders requires advanced resources, especially given the territorial size and the complexity of operations in remote areas. Surveillance drones, unmanned attack aircraft, and strategic monitoring systems were presented as solutions that can enhance the Army's operational capacity, aligning Brazil with global defense and security trends. With recent regional developments, the creation of a military coalition by the United States to confront South American cartels has left Brazil in a delicate position. Outside the shield of the Americas, the country finds itself practically alone in the fight against organized crime, which increases the pressure on its armed forces. This exclusion reinforces the perception of vulnerability and demands a firmer response to protect national sovereignty. This threat has been consistently considered by the Brazilian armed forces, which need to be ready not only to defend the territory, but also to combat illegal activities at the borders and prevent the entry of fugitive criminals. The challenge is twofold: to ensure internal security and at the same time to confront organizations that operate with resources and strategies comparable to those of regular military forces. The Brazilian president's refusal to define the Comando Vermelho and the PCC as narco-terrorist organizations creates a direct obstacle in the fight against crime.
Authorities are investigating the presence of criminal factions from Venezuela in Roraima, and as a result, an increase in violence in the capital and the rest of the state.
In January of this year, we discovered a clandestine burial site where we found 10 bodies buried.
This classification would not be merely symbolic, but would have practical and immediate effects, as it would allow for harsher sentences and stricter legislation, and give the police and the armed forces greater legal support to act more effectively against factions that operate like true parallel armies. Declaring these factions as narco-terrorists would also align Brazil with practices already adopted by neighboring countries, such as Paraguay and Argentina. However, while these countries move forward, the absence of this definition in Brazilian territory opens a dangerous loophole. Fugitive criminals from international operations find refuge in Brazil, taking advantage of legal loopholes and the difficulty of legal classification that limits the actions of national authorities. It is in this context that the statement by the Army commander becomes even more relevant. By stating that current threats come from South America itself, he confirms that Brazilian military intelligence has already detected the migration of hostile agents, including from countries like Venezuela, which is still under the full influence of the Chavista regime. The case of the territorial dispute over the Essequibo region in Guyana is a clear example. To advance its objectives, Caracas would need to cross Brazilian territory, which reinforces the urgency of preparing the Brazilian armed forces to face not only organized crime, but also potential external threats. Expecting concrete action against crime and the re-equipping of the armed forces from the current Brazilian president has already proven to be completely ineffective. The president is at the end of his term and has done nothing to strengthen the Navy, the Army, or the Air Force. Even so, the military commanders can and should more firmly demand the strengthening of the forces, considering the imminent risks and the global turmoil, where several countries have significantly increased their defense spending. In addition to guaranteeing national sovereignty, the mobilization of the Brazilian defense industry would have positive internal effects. It would activate the workforce, create jobs, boost the economy, and increase the export of ammunition and defense equipment, putting Brazil in a more competitive position on the international stage. However, what we see is a worrying situation. The threats to the country are growing rapidly. Criminals are spreading terror from north to south. And the federal government remains inert in the face of the need for bilateral security agreements and a robust national mobilization. This lack of initiative creates room for organized crime groups to grow stronger, making Brazil vulnerable at a time when the whole world is preparing to face new challenges and even a possible Third World War. The absence of a clear strategy and consistent investments in security and defense puts at risk not only internal stability, but also Brazil's position within South America and on the global stage. Leave your thoughts in the comments about what you think of General Tomás Paiva's statement and what is missing for the armed forces to be more involved in the country's strategic plans. Here at Vida No Quartel, you stay up to date with everything happening in the military world. Leave your like, subscribe, and watch one of the videos appearing on your screen. Forward, fighters! See you next time.